And I know we always, sort of usher in the conversations with some local music. But today our producer decided, we're going to do something different. Bihutas Dishas. It's your hip hop kids. J Smash, Flame, A Reese, Zuki, Coke, Dope. Los maar net alles. Goeiemorgen.
Nee, see, los maar net alles nie. Listen, you new generation, where did you guys learn Nuka hip hop?
From Tupac.
This is not Tupac. This is not Tupac. This is not Dr. Dre. This is no Snoop Dogg.
We learned from Eminem.
No.
Nobody has evolved, man. You can see the influence of some of all these guys, as yeah.
What do you call this rap? Trap. It's a trap. Seriously. I'm trying to, my son is 14.
Please put your phones on silent. Thank you.
My son is 14 years old. And he would listen to this nonsense. Daddy. Okay, daddy, worm, daddy. And I would play him okay, then you don't know the bread or whatever.
Yeah, I know the bread. The B-R-A-T.
The B-R-A-T.
Yeah.
And he would listen to the bread like, Daddy, what the hell is this?
What does that have?
I said, the bread is functified. So maybe we are just born in different eras.
You surprised me, come at the bread. I thought you were going to say like NWA or sweets.
My bro, when the bread was the bread, I was like 23 years old.
I listened to the B-side.
Yeah, I listened to the B-side.
Yeah.
Notorious B.I.G. No kom jy met hierdie blah.
That's the music waar die mannetjies soek dees daar.
Nee, asseblief.
Hulle soek die lyrics. They just want a beat and catchy noises.
But it's a on beat on your today.
What can't you mark me, bro?
Yes.
If you don't make that kind of music, they're not playing your stuff in the club.
So you just have to.
Conform.
So who started this?
There
must be a zone artist who said, I'm going to try this and I'm going to make this.
I think at the height of YMCMB, Young Money, Cash Money, that's the Lil Wayne and Drake and
Lil Wayne
Squad. When they were at the height, they actually influenced me, like hip-hop to change and start heading into this direction. Because all the kids that came after trying to sound, a little bit like Drake, a little bit like Weezy. And here we are. I mean, there are really, really good conscious rappers, like a J. Cole or Kendrick Lamar.
Hello.
Ma, J. Worry, unless I'm a six or buy anyone, because they're not making this.
Yeah. Because
crap music.
I think the first time, obviously J. Cole and these guys are what my sons listen to. And I remember the first time I heard J. Cole, I was like, I asked my son, who's this?
This is a light kid.
I said, no, Daddy, he's a rapper or hip hop artist. I believe he's from Canada also. No, I think he's American.
Yeah, he's American.
He's American. And then I said, show me a picture of him. And I look at a picture of this boy, it's like, what is that? Rasta. Yeah. And then I read a little bit more about him, because not just does he have good lyrics, he's got a real old school rap voice. And with his lyrics and stuff, and he even said it. He said, "No, I don't make music for Grammy Awards.
Yeah,
I don't do that." So I think he's probably like the only new artist that I would tolerate to listen to.
There are a couple that are that are not making, what do they call it, mainstream or commercial music, if you will.
Okay.
Maar in elk geval, ons praat sports op die morning mix.
Jy kan nie gewag het nie.
Nee, yes, of course.
I'm busy here talking about trap rap.
Ai, la trap lop. Crap. Let's start with Tuesday's matches. Did you watch any of the matches on Tuesday?
Cubis, you know what? God forbid that rugby will be played
Behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors. I don't know how that was. Stop him! No!
Hey man, Joe, come back!
I was watching. I was switching between both games, between the Liverpool Atletico game.
No, I'm talking about Tuesday. Tuesday was Leipzig, Tottenham, and then Valencia, Atalanta.
Can I just make one thing clear here?
Yeah.
After watching the Leipzig Tottenham game, I say again, this Jose Mourinho, in my humble opinion, and I can be wrong, and you can prove me wrong. Wenger, Arsene Wenger, the man that he vilified so much and ridiculed so much through when he was a younger man.
Yeah.
It shows again to me that Wenger has always been the better coach
than
Jose Mourinho. Wenger worked. I remember the decline of Arsenal started in 2005 when we built the Emirates Stadium. And as a result, we could not buy any quality players for almost 10 years because that's exactly. But we made work of it, and it's only now that you have guys like Aubameyang. Now that we're getting into
and
the
Pepe
60,
who are coming in for bigger amounts,
for bigger amounts, etc. Now this Mourinho guy, it showed again. I think with his second spell at Chelsea, where he got fired, he went to United, got sacked. He's with Tottenham now. How the board of Tottenham will explain now why they sacked Pochettino. Because this guy, his sell-by date is expired way earlier than Wenger.
I think his style of football worked at some point, but I personally don't think he's like a top of the table kind of coach anymore. I think he should be managing like a West Ham or Middlesbrough or Sua. Those guys who are actually battling it out.
Yes.
Fighting against relegation and so on. I think that's the kind of team that Mourinho should be managing.
I like what you say.
Marseille ego, of course, will not let him
I like what you say.
go down there. Yeah.
I think it was also maybe a long shot for him when he took up the Tottenham job.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, it's Tottenham. They're doing fairly well. Pochettino brought them where they are. Maybe. Okay, now let me just take it.
But it's weird because Mourinho is traditionally a defensive coach. He likes to play defensive football, that pragmatic, rigid kind of defensive game. And Tottenham were under Pochettino anyway. They were an attacking team.
Yeah.
So most of these players are having to adapt to a whole new system.
Exactly.
Which I'm sure most of them are not comfortable with.
They're not comfortable with.
Yeah.
And maybe not just to divert now from the Champions League. Cubase, I see the same thing happening to Kaizer Chiefs at the moment in South Africa. Kaizer Chiefs have a German coach who plays very, very German style football. And this is not a tradition of Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
This guy plays down the flanks, crosses the ball in, and hope for something to happen. This is Middendorf style.
Yeah.
And historically, Kaizer Chiefs has carpet football.
Hulle speel hom op die grond.
Hulle speel op die grond, and they channel all their attacks through the middle.
Yeah.
That was now through Asen Chilonge, Dr. Kumalo. There's no Dr. Kumalo that the Chiefs has. And there are players who can play like that, but this German coach plays along the flanks.
System, even if the ball gets to the guy, he's told to pass it out to the flanks.
Pass it out to the flanks.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening with Mourinho at the moment, with all the clubs that he seems to be going to. United's football just changed. I think Ole somehow seems like he's
starting
slowly
to find
getting it
his
right
feet now.
now.
Yeah. Like just a few weeks ago, the talk was still Ole must go. Now Ole must stay.
How your life changes in football.
All thanks to 20-something year old Bruno Fernandes who just came in and revitalized the team. And now there's talk that Pogba also might want to stay. But that's a conversation for another day. Tottenham out of the Champions League, 4-0 on aggregate. They lost 3-0 at RB Leipzig. Atalanta, Valencia, that was an interest. It was always going to be a high-scoring game. It ended 3-4 in favor of Atalanta on the night. The first match, of course, Atalanta won 4-1 at home. So
Atalanta is through.
They're through 8-4 on aggregate.
Wow.
They are they don't even care about defending. If you can score, go score. We will also go score. It's that kind of game. I would like to see them against a team like Paris Saint-Germain or so. Of course, speaking of PSG, they also went through last night, overcoming Dortmund 2-0 in an empty Parc des Princes.
Now, what was funny about that game last night is I'm sitting watching the game, the PSG Dortmund game, but I hear noise.
Yes.
I hear noise.
Yes.
But there's nobody. So I thought, did they put on some speakers or what? Just for me to see on the news afterwards that all the fans were outside.
Well, outside the stadium.
They were outside the stadium.
That's what I was having the conversation with Science this morning. I was like, then why don't you just let them in then? Unless the mensen dan klaar daar. It's not like they're sitting at home watching it on TV. They're making noise outside the stadium. But that was actually it's like a great show of support for the team. And but it's just a weird atmosphere, man, playing in such a quiet stadium.
Cuba it's you know what, the level of passion that Europeans have for football, that you would risk your health in the midst of a pandemic of the coronavirus to say, as jy ons nie laat ingaan nie, ons sal beter ons stel nie belang nie.
You will hear us from the inside. We will stand here outside. And it's weird, like, because you're used to hearing the when the goal goes in or the hy gevaarlike shots. Quiet, bruh. There's nothing going on.
Maar nou wonder ek, I would love to know if when they scored the goals inside, okay, obviously the guys were probably streaming outside. Or maybe there was a screen outside or whatever. But it would also be not in the interest of what the club tried to do. I don't think the club would have put up a screen outside.
Yes, if you're not letting people in, why
are you putting a screen
inviting them to the stadium to come watch outside?
Yeah. So probably the guys were screening
or phones and
streaming outside. So, yeah.
But a very good performance from PSG. They've been knocked out at the round of 16 for the past 3 years. I think Barca, Madrid, and United in the last 3 seasons. So for the first time, they actually progressed past the round of 16. Kylian Mbappe starting on the bench. You think they have what it takes to go the distance? At least go to the final? I mean, Liverpool was the one that everybody was scared of, and Liverpool is out.
Ons kom daar so.
Yeah.
Ons kom daar so. So nee, I don't think they'll go all the way. They reached the quarterfinals now.
Yeah, now they're
so
reaching the quarterfinals.
Maybe semis.
Yeah. I think we'll have to wait and see the draw, what it looks like, because if they. It's difficult. But anyway, before we run out of time, the big match from yesterday, of course, the highlight of the Champions League fixtures this week was Atleti, or Liverpool versus Atleti at Anfield. Of course, Atleti coming into the match with a 1-goal lead. I didn't really watch the match. I was watching highlights. I was watching Dortmund PSG yesterday. What a result. And once again, I think Atleti showed what sort of Liverpool have been showing us for the past couple of matches, that if you are willing to go at them, they are gettable. They are not that rigid defensively solid team that was just impossible to break down last season.
I remember I was having this discussion with my daughter this morning as we were driving, as I was taking her to school. She lost the first tournament 3 weeks ago in Swakopmund. And it was the first tournament that she lost in a year and a half.
Damn.
So she got so much used to winning that when she lost in Swakopmund, she completely capitulated in the semi-final. And she was so devastated when she lost the semi-final. When she had to go play the third and fourth playoff, she got ran over.
She was just not there.
She was just not there. And it was strange for her that how can she capitulate like that? And yes, she did correct it now this past weekend with the local ITF tournament here. And we were talking about it this morning, and she said, Daddy, now I understand what it means to lose. Because I thought Liverpool will never lose, Daddy. So they lost last night. I said, yes, sweetheart, while you were sleeping, Liverpool lost. But Daddy, Liverpool is so good. I said, what happened to you 2-3 weeks ago?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, true.
It happens.
It happens. So you can't win forever.
And to those of you that did not watch the match, Liverpool were 2-0 up at Anfield. I mean, 2-0 for just about 2-3 minutes before Atleti pulled one back. But then in extra time, actually, Atletico scored 3 goals at Anfield. It's almost unbelievable.
My broer, ek sit daar nee. I was switching between the two games.
Yeah.
Ek sien Liverpool is up 1-0. Liverpool is up in extra time 2-0. Toe sê ek, okay, nee, op dan van.
Yeah, good night, Atleti.
Hulle gaan deur. En daar skop Atletico in. Sê gou vir my, on 2-1 would...
Atleti would have gone through.
On 2-1?
Yeah.
Still, they would have gone through.
With the away goal.
Hamba.
Because Liverpool did not score at the Wanda
course.
Metropolitano.
Of course.
They lost 1-0. So by then, Liverpool needed to score 1, and then Atleti scored like one more goal to make it 2-2, which meant Liverpool had to score 2 goals in extra time. And then Atleti scored another one to just put the game to bed.
The first goal that Liverpool conceded, goalkeeping error.
Adriania.
Because, I mean, the ball slipped through his hands.
Yeah, sort of. I think the pass was more the problem, the way he placed the pass with allowing Atleti to pick up the ball in such a dangerous place. But I think also he should have done better with the shot. I mean, it was not the most convincing shot from Llorente.
It was not.
But it somehow found its way past the goalkeeper.
Now, at 2-1, it goes into your head.
Yeah.
Ek gaan uit.
Yeah. It's like,
And now you start capitulating. Mwah! 2-2.
Last week's finalist was who? Liverpool and Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Oh yeah.
Yes, you're right. The finalists.
They both packed their bags.
They both packed their bags. Yeah.
Apparently it's because they don't want to go play in Italy. Juventus are still in the competition. Kom eens chip net. It's coronavirus. Oh man. But
so Liverpool is now out.
Yeah. Liverpool is out. Tottenham is out. Borussia Dortmund is out. And so is Valencia. So at the moment in the quarterfinals, we have Paris Saint-Germain, we have Atalanta from Italy, we have Atletico Madrid from Spain, and RB Leipzig from Deutschland.
Barcelona must still play.
Barca Napoli should still come. Madrid PSG is still coming. Juventus Lyon still coming, and Bayern Munich.
What do you mean Madrid PSG is still coming?
No,
what are you talking about?
City Madrid, I mean. Oh, Madrid City. Yes, that also should be an interesting match. And what's the other one? Is it Bayern? Yeah, Bayern and Chelsea.
Bayern and
yes.
Chelsea. Nee, but Bayern shall go. Let's quickly go.
Didn't Bayern beat them 4-0 or something at like?
Bay Chelsea.
Yeah.
So Bayern will go through.
Yes.
That's a given.
Yeah.
It looks like City might go through.
I think City will go through as well, yeah.
Barcelona, there's no.
I'm unsure. To be honest,
Napoli.
yes, we're playing at home in an empty Camp Nou stadium.
First game.
No, it's the second game. We drew 1-1 away. So we have an away goal.
Okay. Barca will go through.
Okay,
Barca will go through.
I'm not willing to put my money on it quite yet, but I'll take that.
Barca will go through.
Juve, Leon?
Juve will go through.
Juve at home. They also lost the first leg 1-0, I think.
Yeah, but Juve will go through.
At home, I also think they're going to go through.
Juventus with the ace.
Yeah.
Old lady.
See a makleka.
Yeah. So
Hey, Esther.
then again, guys, the coronavirus is really. I see the NBA screeched to a halt. Decision was taken last night or yesterday. No more basketball in the United States.
Even the domestic football in Italy has been officially, like first they were like play behind closed doors, and then they decided, just stop. Lost minute, yes, alles. So maybe that also gives an advantage to the other European teams, because that means these guys will not be playing domestic football in between these Champions League matches, at least until this whole Corona saga is under control. And I also understand that City and Arsenal were postponed.
Yeah, because of Arsenal being in close proximity to the Olympiacos players.
Yes, and owner who was.
Yeah, I believe they were greeting the club's president or chairman of the club or whatever, and this guy tested positive for
coronavirus.
So as a result, now what my question is now, are the Arsenal players going to be under quarantine now for 14 days?
I'm sure they're going to get tested. I mean...
Maar die goed wees mos nie in 14 dae nie.
Sommige van die symptoms sal miskien nie wees nie, maar as hulle jou bloed toets, as die virus in jou lichaam is, hulle sal hom kan sien. Even though the symptoms are not so prominent.
Okay.
Or at least I think so. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's interessant. So Neville bly net ver van my af. Julle Arsenal das corona in julle se kamp so. Asseblief ha.
Wat sê die mense?
Ja, kom ek lees 'n paar comments. Let's just read a few comments before we take a quick musical break. Stanley Will Goagoep. Good morning, gents. Ricky Klaassen, Mora, welcome. Saying good morning, my favorite people. David Walomboleni, good morning, crew. I saw another comment from you. Let me just read both of them together here. Neville, I can hardly hear you. I don't know what happened to your mic.
Oh.
I don't know. But we can hear you.
Wat gaan?
Ik weiß nicht. Ook Web Laval. Good morning, Mr. Cubase. En ons gaan 062 Home Sweet Home. Moro Mr. Classic Neville. Maar die is al mes.
Ook Web. Yeah, listen, ook Web. Yeah, Cubase. Maybe just on a serious note. Yeah, ook Web being part of the proud traditional team of Swallows. I see that he sent out on behalf of the club. I think it's something that he sent out nationally on WhatsApp and maybe on different social media platforms. That I have when it comes to Swallows, Swallows is a team that comes from the heart of Karatura, and I have a strong emotional attachment to Swallows, even though my kids play tennis for SKV and soccer for SKV. And there's been an SOS that came through from Swallows that they will not be able to play part of the domestic football league and circles anymore due to financial constraints.
Okay.
And Lawal did send out an SOS yesterday to anybody out there, whether it's corporates or the general public out there, to help the club to get on their feet. Now, there's an amount of $25,000 outstanding that they have to pay towards the football league
Okay.
or something like that. And it's a lot of money.
Yeah. 25 grand is a lot of money.
See, makkelijk. So Lawal, I'm taking this. You didn't ask me to, maar nou wat je nou praat van dit. There's so much talent in
Hela,
that team.
ons moet comments lees, die praat lang.
Nee,
Okay.
nee,
By the way,
help.
ook web, just for interest sake. Right. Yeah, for interest's sake, what would it take to buy into the club? You know, some ownership.
Mosquito.
Jy het ook muskiete saamgebring. En ek hoor mos die muskiete daar by Elisenheim is die spreken Deutsch. Yes.
Guten Abend.
Mbutiwa Kahanja Kajoza. Morning, guys. Aren't you in the UK? Like, did you go watch some of the matches or the Champions League match last night? And also, Natalia, what is the? Gamena Adolf. Good morning, my people. How's the morning? The morning is good. Elton Black, Mourinho must just go back to Italy where they play boring football.
I agree.
Elton Black also saying, Cubase, let's not arrive at the wrong conclusion. If not for All Blacks' brilliance and Adrian's mistakes, Liverpool Football Club would have been through. It was a one-sided affair. It was a one-sided affair that you did not get through. So I mean, Adrian has been part of the Liverpool setup for how many seasons now? So for you to just point, I mean, if Robertson had scored instead of hitting the post, it wouldn't have to come to Adrian. If Mohamed Salah had been more clinical in front of goal, it wouldn't have had to come to extra time. And maybe that was Diego Simeone, because you know at Anfield, if you open up, that team is going to rip you to pieces. So he did what Atletico does. They sit back, they defend, and when they get the chance, they take it. They scored 3 goals in less than 30 minutes.
Elton, it was a good run.
Yeah.
You are the outgoing Champions League
That's
champions.
It's fine.
You are on the verge of clinching your first
Champions League in
Premier League.
Premier League in 30 years. Ne?
Yeah. So it's all right, my bro.
Moenie complain. Last time you guys won the Premier League, Namibia was just becoming independent.
Yeah, so celebrate independence. So, luister. So Agaba. So Agaba is celebrating on both fronts.
Yeah, he's a Liverpool fan.
The president is a Liverpool supporter. So, okay. Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's okay, guys. Like, you don't have to be sour. You don't have to be bitter. You don't have to be angry. Last season, you guys beat the best team in the world on your way to go, win the Champions League. And you beat them in emphatic fashion. We don't even deny it anymore.
Kijk hoe like Liverpool's last Premier League trophy that they won. Dat is geroes, jong. Yo.
No stout, man. All right, guys.
This thing looks like they unearthed it from the Titanic.
Let's show the fans.
Yo.
Basically, that is the last.
That's the
last
Premier League trophy that Liverpool won.
It's sitting in the.
It was unearthed from the Titanic. The Titanic sank.
Let me ask you guys who are, diehard Liverpool fans. Who was the last coach who won a Premier League for you guys?
Good question.
Moving on swiftly. There's like
I think we can at least name some of the players that played there.
Steven Nicol,
Kenny Dalglish, John Barnes, Ian Rush.
1990.
Those are the ones that I can remember. Oh, and the Zimbabwean goalkeeper, Bruce Grobler. Yeah. That's who I remember.
Oh, he played for Liverpool, ne?
Yeah, he played for Liverpool.
Helmut van Wyk, gents, your studio sound is not right today.
Wat
Put volume, please. No, you put volume on your device. All right, don't worry, we'll sort it out for the second stream. Maria's going to join us in studio in a little bit. And Lily Kambanda saying, gents, sound yes. Sound please, I mean. All right, we're going to get on that. Let's quickly play some music. When we come back, we will have a different type of conversation. Stick around.